Well, hey there, Mission Control. You ever have one of those days where you just basically feel like crap? I'm not having one of those days today. I feel great. I took all yesterday off. It was Sunday. Took it all off, relaxed. We didn't go to church. We slept in. And then my wife and I did a Bible study. And then for the rest of the day, I did nothing. And my body hurt the whole time I did it. And that tells you how hard I've been going. So today I feel rested. I had a really good workout. And I got a good pump coming out of the workout. If you've never lifted weights, you may not know what I mean when you get a pump. But man, oh, it feels so good. And it's beautiful outside. It's beautiful. It snowed last night. We've got beautiful sunny sky though right now. It's nice and warm out. I mean, relatively speaking, it's warm. It's just a beautiful day, and I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys. Today what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be taking the air compressor and the plasma cutter out to the site. We're going to be cutting off some of the knobs on the back door. I've tried to use the cutoff wheel. I used the cutoff wheel, and I went through all my cutoff wheels getting those little knobs off. So we're going to use the plasma cutter to see how that goes, combined with the grinder, just to get it all smooth back there. And we got some template builds going on right now, so I'm actually standing in a template here so that we can cut out the side doors, which will allow us to create the vestibule, which is what we call the area where you come in to the LifePod 2 area, which separates you from the operations area, so we can keep everything nice and clean. It's kind of like a mud room, but we call it the vestibule. And we can also create the interface connection doors, which allow us to daisy chain the LifePod 2s together, and they can share aquaponic water, they can share clean water, data, power, and methane from the digest state, as well, that can be shared throughout all the systems. That way, if one pod goes down, we can reroute power. You know, rerouting power through engineering, sir. That's what we want to be able to do. So we're going to have that all set up. Super stoked about that. The Lincoln Electric Power MP 210 is working awesome. I love that thing. Plasma cutter's working well. Had some issues on Saturday. I was out there, I was trying to cut, and man, that thing just would not go on. So I replaced the tip, replaced the, there's a rod, and then the protector cup. Replaced all that, and it still didn't work. And I came to find I just wasn't pulling hard enough. It's been a while since I was using it, and I already forgot. Anyway, that was a frustrating day. But today's not. So let's get everything loaded up on the pallet, take it out there to the site. We pretty much leave it out there now because we don't really need it up here anymore. So out at the trailer now, obviously. And the thing that we need to work on is getting these knobs all off of here. Now I got a few different things that I've been trying out. I've used a cutoff wheel, grinder, corded grinder. This is obviously not corded, this is cordless. Today we're gonna be doing the plasma cutter. So we really want to see, again, I'm not a fabricator, I'm not a metal worker, so I'm learning these things as I go. Today we're going to be trying to do the plasma cutter. And the thing that I think is going to be difficult for the plasma cutter is just getting a good ground. So I'm using the grinder to grind some of the surface to prepare it for the ground. But I think because it's so thick, I'm going to have a hard time. So my goal is just to try to get a good cut with the plasma and maybe come back in with the grinding wheel and get it off. I've been going through cutoff wheels left and right out here trying to get this stuff all done. So that's why I want to try something different. So let's see how it goes. And then the breaker pops because I didn't wait long enough. And the startup and the turn off sequence draws a lot of amps. For all you beginners out there like me, the answer to if can plasma cutter cut this stuff off? Not that plasma cutter. That's a good plasma cutter, but it can't cut that thick of metal and go through it. I keep losing the ground. Even though I got everything ground down where the ground is at, and I grinded here, so there to there is where the electricity has to travel, but it's just not sticking with it. I keep losing the plasma torch, the plasma itself, the arc, sorry. I keep popping breakers. We're done with the plasma cutter. We're gonna go back to grinding. It's just gonna take a while. I just gotta suck it up, buttercup, and use the good old-fashioned corded grinder. I ran out of cutting discs though. I've gone through a lot of them. So we're just gonna grind away the day. All right, here's the secret. The plasma cutter definitely works. You just gotta have it in 240 volts. Then we are really cutting through this thing, and that's awesome. This one we're cutting on and grinding on previously, and what we're having is as we cut through it, the slag is reforming and we're basically re-welding it back in. This one we didn't cut on as much and the cut went a lot nicer. There's 4 welds on this, one on each side, and we're cutting them off on the 3 sides like we just did, and it worked great, but this one reformed as we're cutting it, so we're gonna cut on it some more, see if we can't get it off. Hey, by the way, if you enjoy these videos that I'm doing, be sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below so you get notified when I release new videos. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And if you like what we're doing a lot and you want to support it, you can do so through Patreon. All the links are down below. All right, so some things that we learned today. 1, grinding this stuff really sucks. Using the grinder, 11 amp, going through and grinding it all, that takes forever. Use the Sawzall, tried to cut through it. That took forever. Plasma cutter on 120 volts, that didn't work. But once we bumped that bad boy up to 240 volts, we could cut through anything. Wow. Some safety stuff. I should have really had my hood up and when I was doing this, so if you're brand new to welding, I had a subscriber point that out to me, so I want to pass that on too. I definitely am going to be using the welding helmet when you're in 240 volts because you're pumping out a lot of amperage there. So just some things to consider. I've got 4 more to cut here and some of them I'll have to do from up on the roof, so that's going to be interesting. I don't know how we're going to get all the way up there for those ones. Our extension cord is just a few feet too short, but we'll find out. So I'm going to get back to work here and then I'll show you how it looks when we're all done. I just got done with everything up high. So I got all the pieces plasma cut off and I just got done grinding everything with the extension ladder. And let me tell you, my shoulders are killing me being up there and holding and grinding and plasma cutting. So I'm on my way down, going to switch out the ladders and get the driver's side grinded up. And then we'll be on to the bottom. And this is what we're taking off. This is a chunk of it. A little over 1/4 inch, almost 1/2 inch in some spots. Two more to go. I don't know about you, but my arms are killing me. Ow. Need to get flexible here. Just got done with the last grind. Everything is ground all the way around. Still have more grinding to do to get ready for welding because we're actually going to build a wall back here. That's what this is all about, is we got to frame this whole thing in. So we got some metal that needs to be welded in and then we got some sheet metal to put on that's going to come flush with all of this here. So we've got a lot of rust too that needs to be grinded down, but all the big grinding is done today. So what did we learn from all this? Well, 240 volts on a plasma cutter is freaking awesome. And definitely started off with that 120 and couldn't keep the plasma arc. So for anyone beginning like me, this plasma cutter is great because all you got to do is unplug the converter that goes from 240 down to 120. It's just a plug, and then you plug in the 240 directly and life is good. Oh, I want to show you something too. Based on a viewer recommendation, I made a change to the filtration system, so let me show you that. Viewer pointed out that if I have the filter on the outlet of the air compressor, excuse me, the air coming out of there is still too warm, so it's not going to condense. So I moved the condenser back here, and here's the pigtail. This is the converter. All you need to do, you go from the 240 plug down to your 110 or 120 here, and that's it. And then to switch over on this unit, it automatically detects what voltage you're on and does all the switching for you. But let me tell you, when you go from 120 and you're used to plasma cutting with that, and you're new like I am, and then you hit the 220 or 240 volts, holy cow, man, that thing is pumping out the heat and it is splattering. So definitely following some safety protocols there. We went with the welding helmet rather than just the plasma cutting glasses, and also started closing up pockets here. This one I didn't get closed, but the other one I closed when I was up on the ladder. And watching for opening hoods and all that kind of stuff so you don't get any slag down in those areas. So thanks to the viewer who pointed it out for me. If you're brand new and you're getting ready, make sure you listen to those safety tips. Stay nice and safe out there. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and on Instagram if you like. In the meantime, everyone, this is The Real Martian. Out. Here's all the pieces we got out of there. These are pretty big chunks, so you can see what we're cutting through.